this is creamy. All right, so first we got our spinach dip out. We also have our stuff that we're gonna need to make our roux. We have our cheese that we wanna shred, and we have our seasoning. So let's get started. First thing you wanna do is you wanna drain your spinach, because a lot of times spinach has a lot of water in it, and you really don't want to have that water in your dish. All right, so we also have to shred our cheese. I'm actually using a gouda and a parmesan cheese. We're gonna put the stove on medium heat. We got a little bit of butter, just a little bit of butter, about half a stick of butter. And next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna add our garlic and onion mix. I actually did this in a little blender, or you can mince it, you can use small pieces, it doesn't really matter, but I use it this way, it's quicker. It gets all the flavor out, so you don't have to worry about that harshness from it. So the next step we're gonna do is we're gonna add our flour. Now, we're gonna do equal parts flour, equal parts butter. We're just trying to make a blonde roux. That just basically means that we're not trying to darken the roux. We just wanna cook out the rawness from the flour. So it's take about 3 minutes or so. All right, now once we notice it, okay, so cooked out a little bit. So now we're gonna add a little milk at a time. Not a lot at a time, it's gonna start lumping up, so we're just gonna add a little bit at a time. You can actually speed this process up if you have warm milk, but I didn't do that, so I use cold milk. So just little by little, and it's just gonna take a little bit of time, a little longer than normal, but yeah, I had nothing else to do, so no problem. You're gonna keep adding a little milk to loosen it up. And really what we're looking for is just like a smooth consistency. Not too liquidy, but not too thick, just right in the middle. We're gonna use this to actually melt our cheese. So I actually forgot my cream cheese over here. So I like using cream cheese because it has that velvety flavor to it, or feel to it. So I'm gonna add our cream cheese in, and we're also gonna reduce the temperature down as soon as I get this in. I'm gonna reduce this temperature down in just a second, and right now I'm just trying to get all that cheese, out, and get rid of all the lumps of it. Okay, so once we get that done, we're gonna add in our next ingredient. So we got our spinach. So now we're adding our spinach, and this is gonna help actually the cheese itself kind of cool down just a little bit. I don't want it too hot because I'm gonna add in my other cheese, and I don't want my other cheese to kind of lump up or get too stringy. I want it to slowly reduce down. So by doing that to help out. So I've already reduced down the eye now. See, it's really going. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna start adding a little bit of cheese in. So I just took a good handful too, put it in there, and I'm gonna slowly melt this cheese. And as I melt the cheese, then I'm going to just look at the consistency that I'm looking for. Yeah, this is simple, it's nothing hard. This is something I like to do on a, Saturday or Sunday, about to watch a game or something like this. And you can add a lot of different things to it, like crab, shrimp to this, and I'll probably make another dish later. Now I added a little milk in here because the consistency was a little too thick and I wanted it a little looser. So once I put it on a chip or so, it'll come out a little looser. All right, so there we go. Add a little bit more milk, slowly, not a lot at a time, just very slow, real easy. Nothing too major. This is an easy dish. This is actually one of my favorite dishes to make. So here I'm adding my chili flakes now. Now, this is the most important part. I got some smoked paprika. You can use regular paprika, or you don't have to use paprika at all. And I have some fresh cracked pepper, and it's a garlic cracked pepper. I like this flavor. It's really good. Has a little bit of salt in it, but not a lot. So after I stir this, I do taste it. So you always want to taste what you got, and make sure it's at the right flavor before you either serve it or before you put it in the oven. So I tasted it a little second, still need a little bit more flavor. So I add a little bit more of the garlic pepper, and I added some salt in there too. There we go. I'm tasting it as we speak. And yep, there we go. I needed some salt. I remember that. So needed a little salt, added in, not a lot of salt because the cheese has salt, but just a little bit more salt to it, just to kind of bring it out the flavors a little bit from everything. And all right, let me taste it one more time. And perfect. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to put it in a container. Now you can actually just put this in a cast iron skillet and use the cast iron as a serving tray, or if you have a little tin like this, you can use for individuals. But you can just really put it in a bowl and serve it as you want. But I will have some leftover cheese, so I'm going to put some cheese on top of it right now, and I'm going to put it in the oven for a little bit. I'm going to put it on broil just on the top, just to get the cheese to melt. Once it melts, then I'm going to put it on top. And I added a little bit of sour cream. Oh, and this was so good. I actually gave some to my nephew just to taste it. Next thing I know, he was in the refrigerator eating the whole damn thing.